Hello and welcome to Comic Reviews. My name is Z, and today I'm actually covering the top 5 darkest moments from Thanos, according to the Thanos story written in 2017. So what I have here is Thanos Returns. This is the complete collection for the story, and then the God Quarry, and then you have Thanos Wins. So I pulled some of the darkest moments that happened in the story. This is probably one of my favorite Thanos stories. Pretty much the story is about Thanos getting some type of god cancer, and he's dying. So eventually he ends up losing his power. I mean, he gets down bad. I'm talking he's a bum. Like even normal people can just beat him up. He loses all his power. So he has to get his power back and then also challenge his son, who has the Phoenix Force and Mistress Death along with him. So, I mean, I really like the story. It's really good, but it has some really, really dark Thanos moments. So I'm actually cover what I think is the top 5. And I don't think these outweigh everything Thanos has ever done from every story, but like I said, from this story, these are some pretty dark things. So I'm going to be referencing the book, and I'll have the scans pop up on, I think, this side of the screen, or maybe even right over my face. I don't know. But let's hop right into it. So this comes from the Thanos Return. So these are like some of the first issues for the story. And what we find out is the Black Quadrant, that's basically Thanos, you call it his home base, really. So he's abandoned the Black Quadrant. He hasn't been there for quite some time. Now, Corvus Glaive, who is one of Thanos's, actually he's the leader of the Black Order. So if you think of the MCU, those characters that Thanos sends to find the Infinity Stones, Corvus Glaive is the guy with the staff who impelled Vision. So because Thanos hasn't been home in a long time, Corvus takes it upon himself to take over the Black Quadrant. And he starts building his army, trying to strengthen his power and his control over this area. So the first thing that happens is Thanos returns. So he comes back to the Black Quadrant, and he starts decimating the army that Corvus has assembled. I mean, he's just running straight through them. Easy work, cutting through them like butter, tearing up their machines and everything. So this is where it gets dark. So he gets back. He's face to face with Corvus, and Corvus is basically telling him like, "Hey, you abandoned this. I took it over, and I'm ready to die for it." So Thanos responds like, "Yes, you are. Like, yeah, you are ready to die for it because you know you're going to." So Thanos and Corvus have this very, very short scuffle. Obviously, he's no match for Thanos. So Thanos overpowers him, and he takes his glaive. Now, Corvus's life force is actually tied in to the glaive, so if anything happens to it, he will eventually die. So after he takes him out and is getting ready to pick up the glaive, Corvus is basically like pleading with him. He says, "You know, you abandoned this sector, Thanos. You abandoned this place. Like, I only wanted something of my own. I know you can understand this." And Thanos is just like, "Yeah." He's like, "Understand? Wait, hold up. I understand that you took something that's not yours, and I understand that you overstepped your boundaries pretty much." So he's standing there with the glaive, and Corvus tells him, like, "If you destroy my glaive, you know, you'll destroy me, so please." Now, one thing Thanos hates is begging. If you beg him, he's not going to be pleased, and he will kill you. So Thanos is like, "Now you beg?" So he tells him if he had shown some spine, he might have spared him. So he destroys the glaive. So this means Corvus is going to die. Now this is where it gets dark. So Thanos tells him, "You were once loyal to me, and that does mean something. So I'll give you a choice." He said, "With your blade destroyed, you will soon die as well. So you can kill yourself now and finish it, or you can let me do it." And it's like, holy crap, like, wait, what? How is that, But this is what he says. He says, make no mistake, this is mercy. For if I were to do it, you would suffer tenfold. So he's basically like, yeah, you're going to die anyway. So you can either kill yourself or let me kill you. And it's terrible because look at Corvus. His face, dude, he's so sad. He's like, and he picks up a piece of his glaive and stabs himself in the stomach. Like that is so dark. Like this was someone who served under Thanos for, a long time, and yeah, he overstepped his boundaries, but dang, like that's terrible. Man's had to take his own life. So that is dark moment number 1. We're gonna move on to dark moment number 2. So the second darkest thing that Thanos did, according to this story, in my opinion, so he visits his father. And he wants to figure out what's going on with him. He knows that he's weakening and he knows that he's dying, but he needs to figure out what's causing it. So his father is doing, all types of like microscopy. That's biology for you. And he basically tells him like you have some, like God cancer that's deteriorating your cells or whatever. Well, what does it say? Your body's literally eating itself at a molecular level. I would have never thought such a thing was possible with your biology. Yeah, he's like, it's like some sort of God cancer. So Thanos is kind of like, how long? Like, how long till I die? And he tells him, like, at this rate, you have a little more than like a couple weeks or whatever, blah, blah. So Thanos is telling him, like, yeah, you need to find a cure and whatnot. And so they don't have a good relationship, first off. So Thanos and his father don't have a good relationship. His father is the man who sired a beast, a monster, a demon, whatever. So he's never been fond of Thanos, and Thanos is Thanos, so he doesn't care about anyone. So his father is like, I'm not stopping it, and even if I could, there doesn't seem to be a way to do so. So Thanos, who went to this man for help in figuring out, for one, what's going on with him, and then the solution to fix it, actually basically attacks him, and he lifts him up by the neck. And obviously the dad, he's not a sucker. Like the first thing he does when Thanos arrives is he spits right in his face. Thanos is like, you may be a lot of things, old man, but you're not a coward. So the old man isn't scared. He's telling him, like, yeah, I hope you rot alone. I hope you die. And then I was like, for the first time in your pathetic life, you actually sound like my father. And he punches straight through him. I'm pretty sure it looks like he punched him completely in half. But it's just so dark. It's like, this is, for one, your father. 2, you went to him for help. I mean, at least he told you what was wrong with you, and then you turn around and just punch him in half. Like, god dang. Like, and it's so terrible, so graphic. It's awesome though. But I think that's like a really, really dark thing there. So that's dark moment number 2. Move on to dark moment number 3. So dark moment number 3 takes place actually in the God Quarry book. So this is the second book for the collection, and it's issue number 10. So basically, Thanos has to go to the God Quarry to get his powers back, because right now he's completely powerless. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, he was able to be taken out by just like any random person. They could just beat him up. He was weak. He was scavenging, like eating nasty rats and junk. So Thanos was down bad. So he goes to this God Quarry, and so he enters the God Quarry. Now what happens when you enter into it is you turn into stone. And if you can't pass essentially whatever test it gives you, you'll remain stone forever. So this puts us in a kind of what if scenario where we have the Avengers. They're fighting Abomination, and they're losing pretty bad. And all of a sudden, Thanos, Vision, Daredevil, and Miss Marvel all show up, and it's like Avengers Assemble. So in this scenario, Thanos is one of the Avengers, and he shows up to help them. So he fights Abomination and defeats him, and he's loved by everyone. Everyone's, cheering him on. They're welcoming him, and he seems to have a pretty good relationship. Now, where it gets dark is, what's his name? Falcon. He sees Thanos kind of monitoring the world, essentially. And he ends up, I forget how this happens. Let me kind of summarize here. Uneasy. Yeah, Thanos is saying, like, he feel like he's forgotten something important. And then Falcon's like, yo, have a look, or whatever. And Thanos realizes, oh shoot, this isn't real. He kind of gets that realization, and he's like, the witches of the infinity, the God Quarry, and he's like, that's what this is. And he says, and then Falcon replies to him like, yes, but it can be. So he's saying, like, this could be, your reality. You could be this if you want to. And so he's basically sweet talking Thanos, like, yo, you don't want to be the bad guy, man. Like, this is cool hanging out with us, the Avengers, the guys. And Thanos laughs it off. He's like, yo, is this what you guys, this is the test here? Like this? And this is what's dark. So Thanos turns around and just claps Falcon's head, like just smashes it like a bug. And he's like, I know who I am. Like, and this is what's really dark about this moment is Thanos, essentially with this God Quarry, had a chance at redemption, a chance of peace. And he's like, I know who I am. I am the Mad Titan. I don't care about nothing or anyone. So he kills all the Avengers, blows them up, and basically breaks out of the God Quarry after doing so. But I thought that moment was just really dark. Just the fact that he, had this. It's like that cliche thing that happens in movies. It's like, show the bad guy his ways, and he's kind of like, you know what? Let me redeem myself, go back to the light. And Thanos literally is just like, no, I love the dark, and this is who I am. So that junk's amazing there. And I'll actually go right into, am I on 4? I did 1, 2, 3. Yeah, number 4. So number 4 happens literally right after that moment, after he frees himself from the God Quarry. Now, to kind of give you some context into this, Thanos was scavenging on a planet. He's getting robbed by nobodies, eating nasty rats. His brother Eros, Trichoslauterus, and Nebula find him, and they basically take him to the God Quarry so he can get his power. They're like, we need you to stop your son. Thane is, he's ridiculous. He has the Phoenix Force. He's powerful, all this extra stuff. So Eros, like, Thanos is being rude to Eros, being just ungrateful, even though he's helping him and everything. So Eros actually beats up Thanos, because it tells you this Thanos is weak right now. He doesn't have any powers. So Eros, he puts the hands on him, and, it is what it is. Thanos really deserved it. Like, you can't be ungrateful like that. And so soon as he gets out of the God Quarry, he just blasts Eros with his newly reacquired power that Eros helped him get. So basically Eros like, what happened? Are you? And he's trying to help him out of the quarry. And Thanos, he blasts him once, because he's like, I owe you this, because he beat him up. So he blasts him once, and then Eros is telling him like, yo, but I helped you. And then Thanos is like, shut up, you sniveling fool, and you are nothing to me. And it's like, even after you do good for Thanos, like, despite he put hands on you, but still, he helped you get out of that state of weakness. And the first thing you do is just blast him like that. That junk's awesome. So that was another dark moment I wanted to bring up too, because that's pretty cold to do that to someone. So on to the last dark moment for Thanos. So this is dark moment number 5. All right, so the last darkest moment, it comes from the Thanos Wins book, and without bogging down too much of the story, going over too much of it, Thanos meets an older version of himself who recruits him to fight off this. I forget who it was. Oh, it was the Silver Surfer. Yeah, it was a Silver Surfer who was wielding Mjolnir, and I think he was wielding something else. I can't remember, but yeah, he recruited Thanos to face him because there's like this horde that he needed to fight. Basically, every other threat was gone. He killed literally everybody except for this it's this version of Silver Surfer. So, long story short, Thanos ends up fighting himself. The younger Thanos, or we could say current Thanos, is fighting future Thanos. He hates him pretty much. He's like, I hate what you are, what you become. You're a coward. Just all these negative things about the older Thanos. So Thanos basically swears, like, I will never become you. I'm going to make sure of it. So pretty much the ending of the book, you have the old Thanos. He's beaten and battered, right? And then you hear some footsteps. And it's actually Miss Lady Death. So I'll read what the old Thanos says. He says, "Don't you see, my love? We are still here. The boy, he did nothing. I am meant to be. We are meant to be." And then he says, "Together." And then he asks her, "My lady, why do you look so?" And then he kind of realizes. So this is what's dark about it. He realizes, he's like, oh. He's like, "You're not dressed for a wedding, are you?" So Mistress Death shows up to him. Now, you know how Thanos feels about death. Thanos, everything he does is for death, right? So finally, it seems like he's getting what he wants. The love and respect and acknowledgement from death, only to find out, like, no, she's not there for a wedding or for them to be together. She's there because... You'll find out. Check it out. It says, "He's done it. He's erased me. My love, before I'm lost, tell me what he did. Tell me, what did he do to be rid of me? What did Thanos do?" And she says, simply, he won. So basically, Thanos went back to where he belonged and made sure that he won in a way to where he wouldn't become that Thanos. And that Thanos had to essentially consciously realize that he was being erased. So that for me is the top 5 darkest moments from the Thanos stories, written in 2017. I believe that's when the story is written. So tell me what you guys think of that. I really love this story. If you haven't read it, you should probably read it. If you'd like me to cover the entire story with all the scans and whatnot, then leave that down in the comments below. Other than that, I will catch you guys on the next video. Thank you for sticking around if you did. Leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe. Thank you.